Hi, we're here today with Betty Huang here at Studio B in Easton, Maryland. This is Betty's Gallery, and Betty, you are the president of Working Artist Forum. Could you tell us about the Working Artist Forum?
Yes, I'd be very honored and happy to tell you about the Working Artist Forum. Thank you, Carlisle, for coming to my gallery. The Working Artist Forum is a juried organization of professional artists on the Eastern Shore, and we have been in existence for a long time.
40 years.
40 years, yes. And it all started with a group of painters that wanted to get together and have critiques and having a great camaraderie of art. So this has been in existence, as you say, 40 years, and it has grown. It has grown from a very small group and increasingly growing. And so when I became the president in 2014, at that time, our membership was in about 70 artists, and now we are over 100 professional artists in our group, and we have a wonderful group of talented artists that are with us.
Wow.
And so we exhibit around the Eastern Shore, and we have grown since I became president from only showing at local banks and Chesapeake College and retirement homes to now to actually nationally known places such as Columbia and Columbia Art Center and Strathmore Mansion in Bethesda and Quiet Waters in Annapolis. So one of my goals is to provide wonderful venues for our members to exhibit their artwork and be known. And one of our largest and most exciting exhibit is Local Color. And Local Color is under the auspice of Plenary Easton, and we really want to thank Avalon Foundation for their support throughout the years to have a venue through Local Color to present to the artists that are really selected by a judge to participate in this exhibit. And we're very fortunate this year that we have a fantastic artist and a wonderful person, Carol McClees, who is the chair of Local Color, and she will tell you more about Local Color later on.
Well, Betty, could you tell us about the Working Artist Forum and the benefits of being a member as a budding artist?
I think the benefit of joining Working Artist Forum is that you have a large resource of artists that you can tap into. We, as an organization, have a monthly meeting every month at the Academy Art Museum. And during that monthly meeting for our members, we invite an artist to come and demonstrate or to talk about relevant information that relates to artists. And this is a wonderful venue for people to learn and to share. So in addition to that, as I mentioned earlier, we have opportunities for artists to exhibit their artwork. And so it is great that that this is available to local artists.
Well, when you say local artist, you're referring, well, first off, the Working Artist Forum is a 501c3, a nonprofit.
Right.
And it is for artists who specialize in painting, watercolors, and oils. Is that correct?
Yes, Working Artists Forum is an organization of artists practicing two-dimensional painting of all mediums. So it could yes, it could be all medium, pastel, watercolor, oil, etc. So it is strictly for 2D artists.
Well, that leads me into my next question. You were working for a very long time in Washington, D.C., and then decided to come to Easton, which is across the Chesapeake Bay, to live with your husband, open this gallery, and start painting. Well, not in that order. Could you tell us what drew you to the Eastern Shore?
Yes. Well, I was working at the International Monetary Fund, and I had a very dear friend, Roberta Carey, who was retiring, and she and her husband, Jay, are avid sailors, and they're very analytical. So before they retired, they went all over the world to decide where was the best place to retire. And of course, long story short, they selected Easton. So they started inviting us to come on the weekends. And we just fell in love with Easton. Easton has everything to offer. Not only is it a cultural town, but it has fabulous food and venue, a hospital, an art museum, theater, and Avalon Foundation is so good in providing all sorts of cultural events here. So it was a perfect place for us since it is so close to the Washington metropolitan area.
But you explained to me earlier that your left brain was at work all the time, or is it the right brain? The right brain was at work all the time, and then all of a sudden you retire from the International Monetary Fund, and then kicks in all your creativity. So that's when you began to paint, right?
That is correct. As a small child, I always was drawn to art, but my mom says you have to make a living. So I did, and I had a wonderful career at the IMF. And so when I retired, I thought, well, this is a time for me to pursue my passion. So I did start painting after I retired.
Very nice. Well, we want to give a nod to the local color exhibit that will be taking place during plein air this coming summer, an exhibit that will feature the artists from the Working Artist Forum and their works. I know I attended it a couple summers ago, and it's beautiful. You'll be holding that in Christchurch, just down the street from your gallery here.
Yes, and I'm very happy to say that we will also, again, since the COVID time, we are able now to provide demos free to the public, and Carol will talk more about that later. And we are very happy that during the COVID time, we were able to meet via Zoom. And also during that time, we also revamped our website, which is beautiful. And I hope people will take a look at our website, which is www.workingartistsforum.com. And in it has all of our members' art on there, and their individual websites.
Wonderful. Betty, thank you so much for sharing with us the benefits of being a member of Working Artist Forum, and we look forward to seeing the work of the members in the upcoming months.
Thank you, Carla.
Hi, Carol. This is Carol McClees, and Carol is the chair of the local color for 2022. We're here to talk about Working Artists Forum, but before we get to that, we'd like to tell or have Carol tell us the story about how she became an artist. She paints in oils and watercolors. She likes to paint maritime subjects and your favorite pets and architectural features. And as a caveat here, I have bought a painting of Carol's a number of summers ago. She participated in Clifton Mansion's plein air exhibit in Baltimore. So welcome, Carol.
Carlisle, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. It's just such a delight, and special thanks to Betty for allowing us to come to her beautiful gallery and such a beautiful day in Easton, Maryland. So we really thank you both very much. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Carol. Carol, tell us about the benefits of being a member of the Working Artist Forum.
Well, I see it as an opportunity to be with lifelong artistic friends. I see it as an opportunity to participate in artistic legacy and also to constantly be educated with not only other artists, but with the opportunity to attend demos and workshops and things like that. Above all, I think it's a very rich group of men and women who really enjoy a shared spirit of creating art for sale. And I love the opportunity to be able to exhibit my work. And from a practical standpoint, I mean, after you put so much money into painting these things and, you know, purchasing these beautiful frames and everything else, you want to be able to get them out there and be seen and hopefully sell them so that you can ultimately provide some relief for all of your expenses that you put into your passion.
Well, indeed, the Working Artists Forum gives you those marketing tools, not only the tools to learn your trade even better, to improve it, but also the marketing tools necessary, which can be a difficult challenge.
Right. And you know, going back to one of the original founders of the Working Artists Forum, she said, art is a journey. Make sure that you enjoy your trip on the cruise ship, but don't forget to have a strong rudder. And to be perfectly honest, I really view Working Artists Forum as being my strong rudder because I'm constantly working and being with collaborative people who really enjoy seeing everyone's individual and group successes. And it really takes a village to put on these art shows. It's a lot of work. Not one person can take individual credit. It's a group, and what's so exciting and exhilarating is that there's such a strong group of volunteers, and that's another one of the things that I really enjoy, and which is also part of my journey. I've been a lifelong volunteer, and I really believe that in order to get enough out of an organization, you have to be able to give to the organization. And through that, you really strengthen ties with people, and you learn everyone's individual stories. And I think that is so rich for me as a person. I really have benefited tremendously from being part of the group. And I was nervous because in order to get into the group, you have to be juried in. So the jury process, I've been juried into art shows since I was 20 years old. And you have to learn very hard to have thick skin. And you need to have resilience. And you have to just keep your eyes on the prize, which is in my heart, the passion of having art being part of my lifelong journey in itself. And so when you're juried into Working Artists Forum, not dissimilar to other groups, you fear the risk of rejection. And I think any artist that goes into a show that is juried, you know that you may be accepted or you may not be, but you have to keep trying. And the point of it is that if you're going to be an artist, rejection is part of that. And so when I got the notice that I was accepted into Working Artists Forum, I was very excited. As I mean, that's the same feeling I have each time I am accepted into any art show, whether it be local or national. And it's just a really thrilling feeling.
Very nice. That juried would sound pretty intimidating because it's hard enough to just pour your heart into a piece that you've created, but then to have a potential person say, well, I'm sorry, but it's just not good enough for us.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's a really, I remember the first time I entered a juried show. I was 20 years old. And at that point, I was doing a lot of watercolors, and then I got the little notice. I was living in Boston at the time, and I got and this was just for a local church show. I was 20 years old, and I was in nursing school at the time, and I got the notice that I was rejected, and I was just in tears.
Aww.
And it was. You know, everything comes full circle. I mean, similar to Betty's story, my mother said, Carol, you can pursue your passion your whole life, but you have to support yourself. So my whole life, I have been pursuing my passion, despite my 3 degrees and all of the other things that I've done in terms of my, professional working life. I think that being an artist has really strengthened me. I think it really does help you build thick skin and realize that even though jurors tell you that you're not good enough for this show, doesn't mean that your art isn't good enough or that you aren't good enough. It just means that for this particular show, your painting did not cut muster with the theme that I wanted, the curator wanted to present. Mm-hmm. So that takes a little bit of time to learn about, but I think it's all artists know that lesson, and if you're going to be an artist, it's just part of the drill.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
So the local color will be, the paintings will be shown this coming July.
Yes.
But there are other exhibitions that one could go to in the event that you can't get down to plein air, which we highly recommend you do because thousands of people come to it I think it's the 3rd week in July.
It is. It starts on July 20th, and I'll tell you all about it. Our opening reception and awards presentation will be July 20th at 1 o'clock, and it's going to be at Christ Church Fellowship Hall in downtown Easton, which is 111 South Harrison Street. It's a beautiful fellowship hall. And the juror this year, there's 2 parts of this. We had the juror and a judge. The juror is the person, Mary Viega, who was the juror that selected the artists, selected the 42 artists to participate in local color. And the judge of the show is the person that will look at all of the paintings in the local color show and decide which awards deserve merit. And so there's 2 parts of that, and both the judge and juror were last year's winners in Plein Air Easton. And nice. So that's really exciting. And so we're having a small opening reception, and then the awards ceremony, and then the show is officially opened. It will be open on Wednesday from 1 to 6. And Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 to 6. And on Sunday, it will be open from 12 to 4. And also, it's so exciting during this week, we are going to have 5 demos. And all the demos are going to take place in the Waterfowl Building, which is directly across from the Christ Church
Right.
Fellowship Hall. And it's air conditioned because it's always so hot in July.
Yes.
And so we've got a roster of 5 tremendous artists to do about a 2-hour demo.
And these will be for the public to come see as well.
They're free, open to the public.
Nice.
We're still working on the individual times. That hasn't been figured out yet, but we do know that on Wednesday afternoon, on July 20th, we will have 2 demos. One of Tim Kelly, who was the former Best in Show winner from last year, and our judge. And we will also have a second demonstration from Mary Viega, who also was a big winner. She was the number 2 winner at last year's Plein Air Easton. And so those are 2 demo artists. We'll also have Charlie Hunter, Robbins, there's another one I forget now, but we're going to have 5 of them all together, and it'll be really terrific. And it's a great opportunity to whether you like art or whether you don't like art, to be able to sit there and observe the process.
Yep.
And just to see how a very creative person can produce such a beautiful vision. And I think that that's really well worth seeing. And if it's really hot outside, look for those demos and go in and have a seat.
In that air-conditioned space.
So that's pretty much the lay of the land that week. We've got there's a lot of planning that has gone into it. Betty asked me to be the chair of Local Color, and even though I have a title of chair, it's a village. I mean, we've got people that are really working on a shout out to Pat Lang and Barbara Watson. They're doing publicity for us. Shout out to Ann Rader. She's doing all of the reception with Shirley Hales. Shout out to Barbara Zulke. She's doing all the treasure report. And let's see if I've forgotten somebody. I hope I haven't. And Doris, oh my heavens, Doris Gluvier, she's doing all of the demos, and she also is a past chair of, like Pat Lang, of the Local Color. So I've really learned a lot from them, and I'm just so grateful. I really am. Yeah, my artistic journey has really come full circle when you think about it, and I really I'm just so grateful for everyone's help. And it takes a village.
Well, we're really excited we can just hear that enthusiasm in your voice and the dedication. So we're really looking forward to this summer and to the Quiet Waters, as well as the Columbia Art Center in Columbia, Maryland, to see the work of the Working Artists Forum's Local Color.
Yes, I can tell you a little bit about that if you like. Columbia Arts Center, their opening is going to be at the first week of May. I think it's May 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. And it's going to be at the Columbia Arts Center, and it's going to be up for a month. Quiet Waters is another wonderful opportunity to come and see art from members of Working Artists Forum. And, the funny thing about that is that it's going to be up for about 2 months, and it's in a wonderful location in the park in Quiet Waters. And it was almost like going down memory lane for me, because I was in 2 or 3 art shows in Quiet Waters many years ago when I first moved to Maryland, and was lucky enough to get top prizes when I was exhibiting my watercolors.
Nice.
So it's just a wonderful show. It's a beautiful venue, and I really hope that people, come out for that. There's also another show. It's going to be at the Easton Library, and that is coming up in, I don't know the dates on that, but it is on the website, and Betty was kind enough to give everyone the address for the website. All the details about the various art shows coming up are on the website.
WorkingArtistForum.com.
That's correct.
Okay, thanks so much, Carol.
And if I can just say one last thing,
Yep.
the benefit of local color is that a portion of our proceeds goes to the art legacy, art education legacy, which has been one of the philosophies of the group since the very beginning, and that is the philanthropy aspect. A portion of all of our sales from local color go to 33 elementary schools in the Eastern Shore area. We donate about $150 per school in the elementary schools to supplement their art education. And I think that is such a gift, and it's such a legacy. It's a legacy of promoting art, and it's a legacy particularly to teaching art.
Yep.
Because as we all know, with budget cuts and everything else, it's difficult for public school teachers anyway to find the necessary supplies to be able to teach art properly. So it's a wonderful gift. The students get so excited, and the teachers absolutely love it. And so when you're buying a painting at Local Color, think of not only it's bringing you joy, but it's bringing those elementary students much joy and even more joy. So anyway.
Wonderful. Thanks again, Carol.
Thank you, Carlisle.